Hey everyone, welcome back to Valareso Capital. On today's video, we're just gonna go through a quickly trade review of a recent trade that I made on the TMF. And for this execution, I was using the chart of the TLT, and the vehicle that I used to trade the TLT was the TMF. For anyone who's new to the market, the TMF is what we call a 3x leverage ETF. So that means that for every point that for every percent that we had a move on the TLT, we have that times 3 on the leverage ETF of the TMF. So for example, if the TLT moves 1%, then we're gonna probably see a move of 3% on the TMF. So let's just start right here with the charts. In this video, we're gonna go through the entire execution. So we're gonna go through what actually caught my attention on the trade. We're gonna go through the entry levels, what was the setup, and then of course we're gonna go through the stop management. So what was the stop loss and what actually was the target for the trade. So let me just grab my drawing tools pretty quickly here. So let's start with the chart of the TLT. And for this video, I'm gonna be using the replay system that we have on TradingView. That way we can analyze the price and we can see and you can understand a little bit of what was the psychology of the trade and what was actually the things that I was looking for when the trade started to come to a level that I was willing to execute an idea. So let's just start right here. You can see for anyone who's new to the channel, whenever I get this green line, that means that I have an active buy signal in the stock. So you can see right here that we have the TLT. And you can see that I had an active buy signal when TLT reclaimed that 30 daily moving average, which is the pink line on my charts. And you can see that the trend oscillator also reclaimed the middle line, which is this line right here. And you can see that the TTM squeeze was starting to rise. So that basically is telling me that we are starting to see more buying pressure in the TLT, and that basically any pullback into support is a buying opportunity. You can actually see that we had a pullback right here into that 21 exponential moving average, and we actually had a pretty strong move in the TLT. And you can also see that we also had a pullback into that 8 exponential moving average, and then we had a continuation to the upside. If you don't know how to use the 8 exponential moving average, I really made a video explaining everything about it, so you can actually see that video. I'm also gonna put a link into the description, and a link should be popping in the screen right now. So let's just start right here. First of all, for anyone who's new to the channel, I only buy pullbacks. So I'm looking for this 21 exponential moving average to act as a level of support. So I'm not planning to buy the TLT up here. I'm looking for a pullback into support and then perhaps buying that pullback, looking for a continuation to the upside. So let's just quickly go here into the replay system. So let me just hit the replay button right here, and you can see that the TLT started to pull back a little bit. You can see the TLT pull back to the 21 exponential moving average, and this is a very, very important thing, right? As soon as TLT pull back to that 21 exponential moving average, you can see that buyers came in really, really strong. So I actually missed this first pullback to the 21 exponential moving average because it was actually a pretty strong move to the upside, and it happened really fast. And I forgot to have a limit order at those levels. So the first thing that I did, I grabbed my Fibonacci tools, and the first thing that I did, I made a Fibonacci retracement calculation. And for this, I calculated the retracement from this high right here into this low right here, and you can see that TLT was coming right into resistance at the 0.618 Fibonacci retracement. What that is telling me is that there is a high probability that after finding support, we're probably gonna see a little bit of resistance at the 0.618 level. So I didn't wanna buy TLT right here just because of FOMO. I was waiting to see if we happen to have another opportunity or another pullback into support for then actually buy the TLT using the TMF. So let me just show you pretty quickly before we continue with the charts. This was the actual execution in the TMF. You can see here that I bought my position on January 30, And then you can see that I sold my position on February 1st. You can see right here, if you want to make the calculations, you can see here that I bought somewhere around 1,600 plus shares for $9.16, and then I sold those shares for $9.60. And if you make the calculations for this is somewhere around a 4.80% gain. If I can draw those numbers right, you can see it was somewhere around a 4.80. This is a 4.80% gain on this position, and it was actually a pretty quickly swing trading, right? So you can see that I basically stay in this trade for just a couple of days, and that's exactly what I'm planning to do. So now that we have the understanding that I started my position on the 30th, let's look for that move here in the charts. So let me just hit play once again, and you can see that the TLT was starting to find a little bit of resistance right at that level that we were talking about, right? So you can see right here, and let me just point that again, you can see right here that we got rejected at the 0618 retracement level, and we actually pull back to the 21 back again. So here is Monday, January 30th, and here's exactly where I started my position. So I bought my position on this day right here, and then I was looking for a move into the extensions of the TLT. So let me just hit play again once again. And you can see that the TLT once again tried to flush everyone who bought this level. You can see that we came right into that 21 exponential. So let me just back a little bit before this huge day that we had right here. So remember that I bought my position on this candle. So the question is, where was my stop, right? So my stop, let me just use a different color here. The stop that I was looking to use in the TLT was any move below this level right here, right? So any drop, any daily close below that level, that was my stop, right? So I had a stop loss below this candle right here. So my stop loss was all the way down somewhere around this level of 140, right? That was my stop loss. I was using the TLT, but remember that I was executing in the TMF, and we're going to take a look at the TMF. And then what was actually my target, right? And the target was pretty easy. I always use a 1272 extension, and let me just get rid of that drawing. I always use a 1272 extension, and let me just grab those extensions, and you can see that that I was calculating a move from this high right here all the way to this low right here, because this was the most recent swing that we had, and I was looking for a quick move from this 21 exponential into that 1272 extension. So that was the trade. That's a pretty easy trade. You can also execute the same idea, buying the 21 and selling at the 0618. That's another trade, and this is a 3-day swing. That's an amazing trade. Pretty easy, consistent trading, right? And the other trade was buying around that 21 exponential once again and selling the position in the 1272. You can also, if you want to, sell some shares here and then look for the next extension, which is the 1618 extension, which started to coincide with that 200. So let's look at what happened next, right? So what happened next is the following. You can see that the TLT went and actually met the 0618 extension. You can see right here that we met the 0618 extension, and we met it, and we find a lot of sellers, right? So that was the trade. And once that we have this move, we have to understand as traders that if you're looking to swing trade quickly, that's the moves that you're looking for, because these are the moves that are very high probability moves, and these are the moves that can make your week, right, if you are positioned correctly. And then you can see that we found a little bit of resistance, and now you can see that TLT is starting to get basically very rejected at those areas, right? So if you were waiting for a huge move, then you will be holding a loser right now, right? So that's exactly what happened. You bought it here. If you didn't pay yourself at the extensions, remember that the extensions are the high probability levels, then you will be now underwater and holding a loser. Something that was a pretty nice winner is now a losing trade. So this is kind of the trade that I do. This is the trade that fits my personality, right? I'm not looking to hold trades for months. I'm just looking for quick trades, right? I'm not a scalper, I'm not a day trading, but I'm a swing trader, and I'm looking to hold something somewhere around from 3 days up to a week, so somewhere around 4 to 5 days. That's my average holding time, and I'm looking to capture these moves. Sometimes we get a little bit more of movement, but we have to remember that we were just below that 200 daily moving average, and we were looking just for a quick push into that 200 daily moving average, and then we were just looking to pay ourselves. And now the interesting thing about TLT is that we have a squeeze and we are starting to break below that 21 exponential moving average. So this could turn into a really nice short setup, something that we will continue to talk about in the channel. So if you haven't subscribed yet, remember to like and subscribe, because I always do a weekly analysis, and we also do a weekly watch list in which we go through the trades and we also look at the names that are looking good for execution. So once again, thank you so much guys for watching. I'm sure that this video was pretty helpful. And if we just jump really quickly into the TMF, you can see that the setup was pretty similar. You can see that I bought it right here into this 21 exponential moving average, and then you can see that I sold my position, right? Remember that I sold it at 960, so I sold it at that 1272 extension, and this then ended up moving a little bit further into this 988. But then you can see that if you didn't sell your position in this really nice move, now you will be holding a losing trade. So once again, thank you so much guys for watching, and I will see you on future videos. Thank you. Bye bye.